Everybody loves a good redemption arc, from your Prince Zuko's to your Prince Vegetas. There is nothing more satisfying than seeing that one character you initially hated or felt sorry for rise above their previous sins and mindset and change into the badass good bad guy we always wished they were. Truly, one of storytelling's greatest tropes. In My Hero Academia, however, redemption is far more than just a trope. In fact, it's a prevalent theme throughout the series. Characters perpetually fight, battle, and struggle against adversities, all in an attempt to redeem themselves. The toughest conflicts and trials they face aren't in the enemies they fight, but rather, it's the imperfections they face in themselves. And it is in attempting to overcome these inner conflicts and better themselves that these characters seek redemption. It is this search for redemption that makes these characters' stories so compelling, because the idea of overcoming your past failures and bettering yourself is something every single person can relate to. But with this being said, what if it was possible to go too far? What if it was possible to pass the point of no return and become unredeemable? Atoning for past mistakes is at the heart of every storyline in My Hero Academia, and it has been shown to us that even some of the most despicable and conflicted characters can be redeemed. But what if there was a character who was designed to show us that redemption has its limits? What if Enji Todoroki, a.k.a. Endeavour, can't be redeemed? Now, the character of Endeavour is already controversial. Some people love him, and others want to see him crucified for all the things he's done to their sweet half-and-half cinnamon roll and his family. Whichever side you agree with is technically the right side, because the way in which his character is written justifies both opinions. As I've just said, atoning for past failures is at the heart of every storyline in My Hero Academia. The characters we follow in this story are flawed, they are imperfect and need to develop. They are designed this way so that when an opportunity arises for them to be heroic, we become invested, not because of what they are doing, but because of why they are doing it. Todoroki using his flames against Midoriya in the sports festival is an amazing spectacle in its own right, but understanding the symbolism behind it and what it means to the characters involved brings its awesomeness to a whole new level. This emotional impact of the why factor is the driving force for this and every plotline in the series. It is one of, if not the most vital factors into whether or not a set piece or arc will be enjoyable. If you're not invested in the why of a story or a character, then more than likely you won't enjoy anything they're involved with. And this is the reason Endeavour is so controversial. His why. Endeavour begins the story as the living embodiment of everything wrong with the hero society. He abuses his wife and beats and neglects his children for the sole purpose of progressing further up the hero ranks. He's a hero who doesn't care about what's right or saving people, just his status. His reasoning for being a hero is the exact opposite of what we've already been told is the right reason. Endeavour is introduced as a false hero. This unconsciously makes everything good Endeavour does in the story seem far less heroic or impactful, because we instinctively don't want good things for him. His flaws outweigh his actions, so when he does crazy cool things like incinerating a Nomu's face or sprinting up the side of a building and throwing a flaming javelin through another Nomu's eye, we feel nothing. These scenes are so badass, but his reasoning for doing them don't hold any emotional impact or significance, so they go unnoticed. People don't like Endeavour because they can't justify the reasoning of his already questionable actions. However, these terrible and justified events are, ironically, the very reason we begin to love this character later on. You see, one of Endeavour's key character traits is his inability to accept defeat. He never gives up. This inability is what drove him to commit the atrocities to his family, because in his blind ambition, he believed it was the only way to win. But after All Might was forced into retirement, granting Endeavour the title of the #1 hero, he realized just how psychotic his actions were. He did everything in his power to become #1, and I mean everything. Yet, it was actually doing nothing that got him the position. In the end, all of the horrible things Endeavour had done got him nowhere, but because of all the good heroic things he did in the process, he achieved his goal. Endeavour himself realizes this during his talk with All Might during Bakugo and Todoroki's extra hero license classes. Endeavour no longer has a mountain to climb. He reached the top, but now he has to make sure the mountain he fought so hard to conquer doesn't crumble under his feet. He realizes that being at the top doesn't change anything, but why he stays up there does. And this is where Endeavor's road to redemption begins. The reason behind Endeavor's actions changes. His why goes from I need to be number one to I need to be the new symbol for everyone else. This changes a lot of people's perception of the character. His story and character goes from admirable at best to inspirational and awe-inspiring. The impact of his story is only furthered by the fact Endeavor's goal of redeeming himself, not only as a hero but as a father, is a gargantuan task that no one believes he can accomplish. As a hero compared to All Might, Endeavour doesn't stand a chance. I mean, he admitted this himself. He knows it, and so does society. And as a father, the only member of his family who could actually look at him without breaking down or scowling is his daughter Fuyumi, and even she has a hard time dealing with him. While Endeavour is ranked as the number one hero, he is actually the underdog in his own fight. And this is why we begin to love him, because there's nothing more inspirational and beloved than an underdog. Endeavour is a man fighting in a hopeless situation. No one believes in him and he can't win, but he refuses to quit. If you ever wonder why people can like the character of Endeavour, it's the very same reason people come to admire Bakugo, their unrelenting tenacity. In the grand scheme of things, there is nothing really special about them, but through hard work and sheer willpower, they fight a constant uphill battle and go beyond their limits and achieve greatness. I mean, it's hard not to be impressed by it. But unlike Bakugo, whether or not you like Endeavour can often boil down to a simple question. Do you think he can be redeemed? Now, as a hero, I think it's safe to say Endeavour has been redeemed. As far as we know, there's been no instant in his hero career that can really discredit the man, other than maybe rubbing a few people the wrong way, but that's about it. He's defeated more villains in total than All Might has, and he's saved countless lives. Plus, I'm pretty sure his fight with High End has changed everyone's view of him as a hero.
Providence!
God, he's so cool! So the only place Endeavour needs to be redeemed is in the eyes of his family. Now this is the most controversial part about Endeavour. Should his family forgive him? Or better yet, can they forgive him? These aren't just people Endeavour hurt. These are people he abused, scarred, and tormented for years. A lot of them in the most crucial time of their lives. Endeavour's wife, Rei, seen only as a vessel to bear his offspring, and his children, Toya, Fuyumi, Natsu, and Shoto, viewed only as potential candidates to be his successor. Imagine being born a failure in your father's eyes over something you have no control over. It's horrifying. And on top of all this, it's presumed Endeavour's relentless hunt to be number one actually resulted in the death of his firstborn son Toya. The entire Todoroki family has to deal with the fact that Endeavour killed their sibling and child. How do you even begin to redeem yourself from this? The abuse and torture were bad enough, but killing his own son takes his mistakes to a whole new level. Endeavour wasn't just a bad father/husband. He wasn't just a villain, he was a monster. And for this, how could his family ever forgive him? The truth is, they don't ever have to. Some things in life, you just can't take back. You just can't let go. And Endeavour's mistakes as a father could very much be one of them. In his family's eyes, Endeavour is the unredeemable man. A man with no chance of redemption. And to many viewers, he's this way as well. But if there is one thing about Endeavour that we can all agree on, it's that he is the most stubborn man in the world. And when he sets his mind on something, he will put every fibre of his being into making it a reality. Endeavour is the man of impossibilities. The man who chased All Might. The man who wanted to be number one. The man who needed to be the new symbol. The man who goes beyond. At the start of this video, I posed the question, can Endeavour be redeemed? And the answer? Who knows? I guess we'll just have to watch him.